This is the artist George Seurat. He made art a little bit different. He made this whole painting using teeny tiny dots. If you look close, you could see the dots of color that come together to make the tree, the water, and the boat. If you zoom in even closer, you could see that the bouquet of flowers is just a pile of dots. It's September. We're going to make an apple today. If Seurat made an apple, it might look like this, made up of little tiny dots. So today we're going to dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. Here you can see the colors apples come in. Now let's use shapes to draw them. What you need today, you'll need crayons to write your name. You're going to need these special dot markers to do our dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. A table saver, that's this messy mat that catches our mess, and then a white paper, that's where our art's gonna go today. So you're gonna take your crayons and find a black crayon to write your name. In art class, we write our name on the back. My name's Mrs. Davis, so I'm gonna write that on the back. Then I'm gonna turn my paper over, and we're gonna start with a circle today. You're going to use a bowl to trace your circle. To trace, you're going to put your black crayon right next to the bowl and go all the way around. If it's not a perfect circle, that's okay. We're making apples today, so to take this circle and turn it into an apple, you're actually gonna add a little line with the black for a stem. And now you're gonna do an artist trick. Apples have the stem that goes down into the core. To make it look like our apple has a stem that goes down into the core, you could see this little curved line. We're going to, at the bottom of the stem, put a curved line, a little artist smile. That's our trick. We don't want our apple floating through outer space, so what we have to do is add two lines. You can see this photo where the gray touches the brown, and the gray is the wall and the brown is the table. Watch how we add two lines to make the table. Now we want our apple sitting on a table, not floating through outer space. So halfway up the apple, you're gonna draw a line over, off the page, jump over the apple, over, off the page. Now it's time to dot. Dot markers are special paint markers that are filled with liquid. We're going to dot with colors that are on apples. There are three colors that apples come in: red, yellow, and green. You're going to pick red, yellow, and green and put them on the inside of the circle of the apple. I'm going to twist off the top, and then you're going to dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. Dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. You're going to put the dots next to, on top of each other, and just add lots of little dots. I'm going to start with my red, but I don't want just a plain boring red apple. So once I get to about halfway, I'm going to put my lid back on. The lid goes on the top and twists closed. Put that back in the middle to share with my friends. Then next to the red, I'm going to untwist a yellow, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. Dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. Dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. I really want to use green, so I'm going to twist that closed and add some green. And I don't want my green to touch my red, but it's okay to touch my yellow. And I'm going to do dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. And then I'm done with my apple. I'm going to twist all my apple colors closed, and now that I'm done with my red, yellow, and green, I'm going to pick a table color. You could pick any color for the table that's not on your apple. So I'm going to pick blue, and I'm going to keep one color down here and go everything under the line is going to be table. So I'm going to dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. Dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. Dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. And fill this space up with blue dots. Now my apple is sitting on a blue tablecloth. Good thing I have that table saver under there because I'm going right to the edge, even off the edge, and it's catching my mess. Now if you have time, you could pick a color for the wall. Now that I did that, filled it in, no white space, I'm going to put my lid back on. And now I can pick a color that's not on my table and not on my apple to put on my wall. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around the outside. I'm going to say dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. Dot, dot, dot like George Seurat. Until I filled in my whole picture with dots. And once you're done, it's really important to take care of your markers. Oh, look, this marker's broken. You notice that we were doing dot, dot, dots? This looks like somebody was pulling it to make lines. This is the way we don't move our marker. When you pull it to make lines, it breaks the sponge. So it's very important. This is a good reminder to do dot, dot, dot instead of lines with these markers. I'm gonna have to fix this one, so I'm gonna put it off to the side. But we're gonna put the lid on our marker. Make sure all the markers go in the middle. And then we're going to decide if our paintings are too wet, they'll go in the window to dry. If not, we're going to take them home. And we have a dot, dot, dot like George Seurat apple picture.